Hi, my name is Cindy Ball and I'm the owner of this channel. It has been a hot minute since I have been on here. I have been working out in Montana for the last several years, and this last October I ended up moving back to Pennsylvania. I loved working out the ranch. It was probably one of my most favorite jobs that I've had, is being out there in Montana. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, love the people that I worked with, love my job. I was the activities director and they actually allowed me to create some classes. I was teaching homesteading classes out there. So much fun. However, my family is expanding. I now have 9 grandchildren, 3 of whom were born this summer. Well, not this summer. They were born this March through November. I was there for every single birth. And knowing that all these grandchildren were coming and being so far away from everyone in Montana, I decided it was time. It was time for Nana to come back closer to all the sweet little babies so that I could be a bigger part of their life. So I packed up all my stuff, and at the end of the season in October, I moved back to Pennsylvania, where I have a home. And in years past, I was only here for a couple months, much to the chagrin of one of my daughters and the grandkids, but now Nana's around much more often. So it's been a great move. It really has. One that I know I was supposed to make, and I am not sorry at all for the time I had out in Montana. I learned a lot. Any of you who know my backstory, the last 4 years have been a ton of healing from some very traumatic things that happened to me in 2019 and 2020. So Piper and I, my dog, we are here, but I have some very exciting news. With that move, I was also afforded the possibility to see a dream that I've been dreaming for years come true. I have been showing little bits and pieces on Facebook for the last 2 weeks maybe, and this is the final piece right here, is to tell what all those little hints were leading up to. So I'll give you a little bit of background. In 2011, when I had my homestead in Georgia, I realized that a lot of the women who were wanting to homestead, because they had come to my classes and they'd done the homestead tours at the farm, and almost every time I had some woman that came up and said, I don't even know how to do this, or I would love this kind of lifestyle, but where do you go to learn this? My heart was tugged. And it was a scary decision because I was homeschooling 6 children and trying to homestead myself. I did not grow up on a homestead. I did not grow up on a farm. So I am a book-taught farmer. And that's how we started. Lots and lots of mistakes. But I loved that homestead that I had. We were there for about 18 years. And my children all had lived there too. So anyways, in 2020, I had to sell the farm. But before then, I had started this group, and it met at my place. And it was just for the women that I met who were doing the homestead tours that I was running and taking the classes that I was teaching. It was called the Ladies Homestead Gathering. Just a bunch of friends that I had met, ladies that I'd met on the tours. It was supposed to remain small. Just come to my house and we will talk about, that's my dog lapping water in the background if you can hear her. Come to my house and I'll teach you everything I know about raising chickens, making your own bread, medicinal herbs, all that kind of stuff. Well, those friends told other friends, and pretty soon we outgrew our farm upstairs and we moved to the community center in my town. And once we moved to the community center, it grew even bigger. And those women told their friends and they came, and pretty soon I had women contacting me from other states. They were asking if there was a group like that where they lived because they wanted to learn how to homestead or to be more sustainable or to learn these old crafts, if you will, like making your own bread and making your own cheese and making soap and all these different things that I was doing. And I said, no, there's not anything. I'm really, really sorry. And they said, well, can't you do something about that? And I thought, oh my word, another big step that they were asking me to take by making this bigger. I didn't know how to do that. And so I asked a couple friends and I said, hey, what do you think about making this like a nonprofit or something bigger? And they were like, sure, it'll be fun. Because that's what I was all about, was let's just have fun doing this. So we got together, and that was in 2013. We actually made it a nonprofit. It was licensed, and we were registered in the state of Georgia. And other chapters started in other states. And the first one outside of Georgia was Colorado. That was a huge step for us. Super exciting to see that this new chapter started in Colorado. Well, since 2013, we have grown and grown and grown. And currently, the beginning of the year of 2024, we have 44 chapters across the United States. We onboarded 14 last year. So as you can see, the interest in homesteading is growing, and we have the availability to help women come together in face-to-face community and to help one another grow in this lifestyle of homesteading. Super exciting, and it's just been phenomenal to see this. Now, I did not do this, of course, on my own. I've had amazing women all throughout these years who have decided to give of their time and their talent and their resources to help this organization grow, because they believed in it. They believed in what we were doing. They believed in the vision. We share knowledge, build community, and grow friendships. And our purpose is to empower women through homesteading. I have seen women grow phenomenally in who they are and in their skills just by being a part of the National Ladies Homestead Gathering. Throughout these years of growth, one of the things that I had missed was when it was smaller and I actually knew most of the women who were involved in the organization. We would do all kinds of stuff together. We would have birthday parties together. We'd go out to dinner. We would work at each other's homesteads or farms and help each other out. And being in Montana, I was not afforded that because there was no chapter in Montana. There was several in Idaho, but I did not have the luxury or the time off to be able to run up to Idaho to see everybody. So when I stopped working at the ranch this year, I had 2024 to look at. Well, back in August, actually, I guess I should jump back to January of 2023. So a year ago, I did something a little bit crazy. For years, literally years, and I found my notes the other day, I have been wanting to convert a van into a camper van so I could travel the states and meet some of the women and go to the national parks and take Piper with me so we could do all these fun things. I couldn't afford a van. Once that trend hit, oh my gosh, they skyrocketed in price. And so I was never able to buy a van. But I did have my 2013 Ford Focus that I paid cash for. And it is a beast of a car. It's gotten me across the country 6 times. Yeah, 6 times, twice a year for the last 3 years. And I love that car. It drives well. I get great gas mileage. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to convert my car because that's the vehicle I have in my hands right now. And it gets great gas mileage. I love driving it. And it's just me and Piper, so I'm pretty sure I can figure this out. I remember being so scared trying to take the seats out of the car because I thought, once I take the seats out, like I've committed to this vision of converting my car into a camper car. I didn't have the right tools. So I had to run to AutoZone. And the guy said, what do you need this for? And I said, I'm taking the seats out because I'm turning my Ford Focus into a camper car. Yeah, a little bit nutty. And I remember I got back home and I found the bolt that I was supposed to undo. And I thought, this is it. Like, this is it. I am actually seeing a dream for years become a reality. And I started unscrewing that bolt and I pushed and pushed and pushed. And pretty soon the bolt came out. Pretty soon the seats came out. And I thought, oh my word, here we go. And so I configured everything the way it was supposed to be. I built some pieces to go in it. And I did not have the opportunity to camp in it before I left. Come August, finally. And things were slowing down a little bit at the ranch. And another friend had a tent and she said, let's go camping. I was like, okay. So now was the first time I was going to try out my car with Piper, with all these things that I had done to make it a camper car. Beautiful, beautiful place where we ended up that first night. It was gorgeous. And I remember, and I bought a tent. There's tents that hook onto hatchbacks. And so it really opens it up. It's like a whole nother room. And so Piper and I, crawled in that night, buttoned everything up, and I thought, oh my gosh, we're actually sleeping in the car, and it's pretty comfy, and Piper and I can both fit in here just fine. It was chilly, and I remember we were toasty warm because I had all these extra blankets, and slept great. And I woke up the next morning and I thought, oh my word, like, this is a real possibility. I could travel in my car with Piper and, you know, make it a camper car and see other places and be gone for a while. I was elated, and I thought, oh my word, I can do this, I can do this. And I was like, Lord, now that I know I can stay in my camper car, what if I took like the last couple months of 2024 and got my car and just started to go see some of the national parks, or I could visit chapters. I mean, it was endless what I could do now that I had the freedom with my camper car. And then the more I thought about it, I thought, why don't I do longer than that? And so, long story short, I have decided for 2024, because it's kind of an off year. Some of my girls and I are looking for land, and we're going to start another homestead, a multi-generational homestead, but that really can't happen till 2025. So for now, I have 2024. And I thought, oh my gosh, I mean, talk about fears. It's like, what if this happened? Or what if that happened? What if this happened? And I realized, you know what? Fear is what keeps us from our next great success or our next great adventure or the next great experience. And I really, really, really wanted to meet the women in our organization. I didn't want to just see them on a Zoom call or hear their name, but I really wanted to meet them. I wanted to be able to hug them and shake their hands and hear their stories. And I now have that opportunity. So January, at the end of January this month, I will be hitting the road. And first place is Tennessee. We have a chapter there in Hawkins County, and I will be stopping there for their gathering the 22nd of January. And I will be there for that gathering. And I will be speaking and sharing with them and hugging women that I have only heard their names of, some I've never met before. And I am beyond excited about this adventure. So I'm taking the whole year, and that's what I'm doing. So all in all, it's going to be a fabulous year. And guess what? I'm going to take you with me. This is what the YouTube channel will be for 2024. It's just sharing these stories and taking you on these travels of camping in my camper car. Yeah, there's all kinds of fun stuff that's happening, but that's my big thing that I'm doing this year is I will be traveling the country, seeing the women and being in the chapters for the National Ladies Homestead Gathering. So if you want to subscribe, do it now. Don't miss out on all the adventures that will be happening. I'll be visiting farms and different kinds of homesteads, whether they're urban or in the country, meeting all kinds of women and sharing their stories too. So that's it. Happy New Year to you. Welcome to 2024. And thank you for being on this channel. And like I said, if you want to follow the travels around the country with some crazy woman and her dog who are living out of a Ford Focus camper car, then come along. Thanks. Have a great new